And hello everybody, thank you very much for joining us today on our bonus session, because a lot of stuff happened in the last couple sessions and we just can't get enough of playing this game. So hello everybody, this is Elkavash, the storyteller. Well, we're live. Hi.
Hi.
Continuing our trend of technical issues, we have one more player again who doesn't have video, but we do have audio for them. Paradox playing Golden Heron, which will be okay for now. Everyone else, though, we've got video for, and everything's looking really, really good. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Now, hey there. I will start getting our little intro ready. Can anybody, because we don't do free speech during the bonus sessions, does anyone want to very, very quickly, and when I say quickly, I mean within 5 minutes, recap where we're up to, what we're doing right now?
Previously on Exalted, the group, Kalis and Sagacious Hand and Sarah, went trekking towards the crypts to find out what information they could from the Lady Pangaea Tydeus, who gave visions to young Sarah of murder most foul and buried deep within an oak tree with bloody hands. Unbeknownst to Sagacious Hand, mention of the word Phoebus enrages her. Meanwhile, back at the castle, De Novo has set about to begin a massive flux of wood essence into the throne room. However, there is a wood-aspected hereditary noble that is present, and so when the essence goes off into his body, causing an essence flux, changing the man into part tree, part person. With screams of pain, De Novo and Arthur have moved forward to save the man from the burgeoning mance that is forming. But in doing so and saving this man's soul, they have doomed the entire land to the Shadowlands. Dun dun dun. The land has fallen into shadow. The moon itself, or the setting sun, now cast in crimson. And Kalis, Sagacious Hand, and Sarah are at least an hour and a half away. They must get back and warn them that the paintings that we bound to protect the castle from one ghost may have been there to protect them from another. Kalis Kodan, using the might of the mountains, has flung the eclipse cast through the air. Sagacious Hand, using his cape to glide magnificently into the room to begin a performance to bind everyone together with the power of love and friendship so they can fight this coming darkness. And over the course of the several acts, to give them courage and conviction and compassion and temperance so they can band together and work as a team. However, dun dun dun, dark forces are aligning against them, and as Tarala has whisked off the rest of the party to continue the charade, the razzmatazz and cocktails, as Arthur Shuster has put it so wonderfully, Arthur Shuster and Sagacious Hand ran off in another direction to find what they could from Jonathan's room. Sagacious Hand grabbing the cologne to ensure that the prince wouldn't lie about his participation in asking us to exorcise the spirit, a spirit he was clearly aware of. Whilst Arthur Shasta has stayed behind in this room, he has made a disturbing discovery. Some sort of sorcerer's workings behind a door, flasks of smelling liquid, and a dark, dark, evil ways book on a pedestal of darkness. Opening the book, he sees information regarding the way of creation can be altered by hatred. Meanwhile, back in the library, Tarala and Sagacious Hand have been working people up as much as they can, inspiring everyone to greatness, to work together as De Novo has finally joined the rest of the group, moving in towards the back to then hopefully deal with whatever this situation is that is within his ghostly wheelhouses of Sohai. However, enraged by the words of the Scion of Denard, played by Sagacious Hand, Prince Jonathan has reached into his pocket and seemed to be flinging a spell, a rune of hatred, directly at Sagacious Hand. And that is where we have left. I have missed one thing, which is Kalis Kodan and Sarah, who have striven to meet their friends at the castle in order to shave off time, have climbed upon the chess piece of Kalis Kodan, skiing and tobogganing their way down the stairs. Unfortunately, the curve too strong, flinging them almost off the cliff, were it not for the quick thinking and strong actions of our mighty heroes. They have entered their way into the village, defending themselves against ghosts that would try to seek their blood. But as the sky grows darker and the wind howls, and we have exactly 45 minutes left before this nation sinks into the shadows. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, well, thank you very much. That was a very good summary of what occurred the last 2 sessions. Plucky, take your expression bonus, because that was hilarious.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I was wondering if it was coming through. I wasn't sure, but I thought, you know what, this is a good thing to do.
It was a bit choppy, but I was thoroughly entertained.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so as dramatic and interesting as this music is, we do require a slight change.
All right, Twitches, are we ready for this?
Not sure I want to be called Twitches, but I'm ready.
Twitch perfect over here.
So, as you mentioned, Jonathan, tired of Sagacious Hand speaking salacious rumor of his beloved grandmother, reaches into his pocket and produces a rune scrawled on a piece of paper and casts it towards Sagacious Hand.
Oh,
Yes.
may I?
Oh,
All right. So
you may.
We had discussed earlier that Tarala, well, Tarala's kind of fond of Sagacious Hand in terms of the fact that she doesn't want to see harm come to him. And Elk, I'm going to request information, real quick thing about whether or not I can perform a small stunt with this as well, involving the fact that we've already ransacked this room before. That she picks up one of the ceremonial long swords from the floor. Her hand stretches out with it to catch it, and stretches out, batting away the rune. As all of a sudden she starts glowing with glowing around herself in the colors of her fire anima.
You mean something like this? Oh, hang on, that's...
It's gonna take a couple seconds to there it is.
Yep. Boom.
So you're going to interject yourself between Sagacious Hand and the rune. I assume because you're glowing, you've activated some charms.
Yes, one charm, which technically would require initiative, but normally if combat hasn't actually started, initiative costs are waived.
That's right.
This one is called Flame Warden Stance. For the duration of the scene, Hand is my warden, or is my ward, and I am able to defend other reflexively without taking an action for it.
Oh, awesome.
And I am using to improve my parry on this, stoking bonfire style. I am able to spend 6 motes, which will come from my peripheral pool, thus the glowing, and it improves my parry from the 6 it already is to a 9 with +3.
9.
Yep. And, you know, I'm also going to, since I seem to be flush with them, spend a willpower to make it a 10, and whatever I get from the stunt bonus.
I'll give you a 1-point stunt, which makes it 11.
Alright, so there we go. Yep, 11. There we go.
Your blade you haven't quite gone into anima flux, but the glow doesn't just extend around your body, it goes down the blade as well, so when you sort of slash through the rune as it travels through the air, it just neatly cuts the whole thing in perfect halves as they sort of catch fire and just flit away into little ashen motes.
Yay! Get wrecked, bitch.
You can feel a gaze on your back intensify. As the room
Oh, I know what it is.
gasps. The hand of King Marcus tightening on Jonathan's shoulder as he goes to ask his son what he's doing. There is a commotion outside as Kalis Kodan and Sarah, sometimes known as Golden Heron, come in through the front doors. The ghosts in the room with you suddenly stop pouring at the guests, turn, and start fleeing the room towards the commotion. Kalis,
Now,
Sarah, unless you do something, you are going to be attacked by these ghosts.
Where are we? Still outside the castle, or are we?
You've just entered in through the castle doors. You're in the main hallway. There's already a gathering of ghosts in here. It's like as soon as you step in, it's like those zombie movies. As soon as you step in, it's like you've stepped on a twig or something, and all the ghosts sort of just turn to face you. You know, their mouths opening, not quite showing fangs, but they start hissing and moaning at you as they start sort of flocking towards you, sort of hatred and murder gleaming in their eyes. You can hear them all call for blood.
Blood? I need blood. Kalis will look to Miss Sarah, who's left the Discord. So, do you wanna, maybe go to some other people's reactions about the Dragon Bloods while we wait for my partner in the scene to
Arthur
reappear?
So, evil book, huh?
Yes, evil book. We won't call it the Necronomicon, because I don't know, because
Copyright?
I don't want to call it that. Yeah, copyright's probably a good reason. We'll call it the...
Call it the Necronomicon.
What?
Necronomicon is made out of cat skin.
How about the divination of hate? How about the divination of hatred? Ooh.
That is an oddly specific title for a book. Literally all the book is preamble except the one page about the spell.
How to lose friends and infuriate people.
No.
Can we not plug my novel?
It's the Book of the Black Circle.
Ooh.
That's a good
Look at the
name.
Black Circle.
How delightful.
Now, Arthur Shasta, do you have much in the way of lore and or occult?
Yes, and yes, I have 3 of each.
3 of each?
Ooh,
Then you
nice.
would be familiar with this tome. It is a... how to say... what's that word? Where things are, like, blasphemous and stuff. It's an apocryphal book. Written by someone who may or may not have actually been a sorcerer, but it's banned in most places. It's generally speaking considered an illegal book, not because it necessarily actually holds the secrets of super deep nasty magic, but because it's woefully deliberately gothic and evil. Like it's so totally overwrought with how evil it is, and you know the person who wrote it might have believed things, or they might have just sort of put it out there, you know, to cause some ruckus or something like that. But generally speaking, it's not considered a very tight authority on sorcery. But there is enough information in it that someone who had the talent for sorcery and was not yet inducted into sorcery might stumble upon something.
Are there any bookmarks, or does, when you read a book, when you focus on a particular area and bend the spine too much, does it naturally kind of want to open to a particular section of the book?
The spine is actually quite tattered. It looks like this book has been leafed through over and over and over again. Or scattered through, as you page through all the different pages, scattered throughout the entire book is not just, the book's writings and, the author's subnotes, but also Jonathan writing notes in it as well, considering his sorceress theory on things. And you can see a lot of the things that he's written, go against everything you know about the manipulation of essence in the sorcery vein, sort of thing. And it's more than likely, if he ever attempted anything in this book, none of it would ever work.
Now, is the general theories in the book are unsustainable, or Jonathan's notes particularly are faulty?
If someone tried to follow the book's notes word for word, it wouldn't work. If someone had the gift for, the innate gift for sorcery and thaumaturgy, they might be able to piece together a working ritual or two from the scattered notes. But from what Jonathan has written in there, it doesn't look like, from what you can tell at least anyway, it doesn't look like anything he might have attempted would work. Certainly he does not have a very firm grasp on the theory of sorcery at all, based on any of the notes that you write in there. But given time and enough permutations, he just might have stumbled upon something at some point. But what it is and what it does, you're not sure, because it's a humongous jumbled mess.
How big is this room that I'm in at the top of this little tower?
It's mostly just like a small perfunctory chamber, probably no much bigger than, say, your standard laundry, if you don't live in a studio apartment and have a room dedicated to being a laundry.
I forget. Did I already make a casein roll in here?
Did you? You made a casein in his bedroom, which found the secret passage to here. I don't think you did casein here yet.
Okay. Yeah, but Arthur Shasta would obviously pocket that book. That is A, the most damning piece of evidence that he can find, and B, something I want to keep for my own personal studies. But he may have other damning hidden things hidden about this room, certain things that shouldn't just be left out for other people to find. So he wants to give it sort of a thorough going over for both hidden material and potentially dangerous occult paraphernalia left about.
Okay, cool. Give me a perception plus investigation roll for that one, please. We still don't have ducks, so while you're doing that, we'll switch back to Jade Phoenix Soul, Sagacious Hand, and De Novo along with the party. Jonathan is visibly perturbed that his spell has been cast aside and stopped. Everyone is sort of paused about the room. The girls, Nymphea and Aracea, are just sort of giddy with excitement. This thing just keeps getting better and better.
Okay, I would like to do a read intentions action. What was he intending? I know his motivation clearly was not a very nice one towards me. What was that intending to do? For Sagacious Hand, who has 0 occult, it looks like he just threw a piece of paper at me, and Tarala has leapt forward and shing, 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 what? So everyone's gasped, and he's really upset. But it's why did I just have a piece of paper thrown at me? I don't know what's going on. So read intentions. What was the intent behind that malevolent throwing of paper in my general direction?
Okay, cool. Don't bother rolling. You can tell by the hate in his eyes he was intending on killing you.
Okay, I would like to make a stunt, please, based on that intent.
Okay.
Okay. With the murmurs and everything going through the room, Sagacious Hand puts a hand on Tarala's like the sword hand, like the shing 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 to be like, you know, don't worry, like to reassure her it's okay, like we've got this. Fear not, child of Hashish. One cannot kill wisdom any more than one can defend it from others' ignorance. Enlightenment cannot be forced, and only through mistakes are we able to learn. I'm going to, like, grasp at my chest and, like, and fall to my knees. Parsiep did never turn from the field in fear, nor did he succumb to fury. His gift is knowledge, and so I must smile and thank you, Prince Jonathan, for the chance to once again deliver this message. The Immaculate Dragons are not gods to be worshipped, but rather are the foremost inspirations for enlightened behavior. Through their example, mortals may unshackle themselves from a base existence and strive for spiritual ascendance. Therefore, to worship the dragons is to lose sight of the message they taught. Hand out shakily. Prince Jonathan Marcus, you loved your grandmother dearly, and I have trespassed against her memory. But you have let your devotion to that memory blind you, your passion placing her upon a pedestal that no mortal can lay claim to. You've lost sight of the truth of Lady Pandaea Tydeus. Fiercely, loyally, passionately, she too loved, but she was mortal and flawed like any other. To worship a thing that one should aspire to be is foolishness. Through proper action in successive lifetimes, mortals may one day embody the very powers of the Immaculate Dragons. Through proper action, one day, you may embody all that you admire and love in Lady Pandaea Tydeus. So I ask you, is this how she raised you? Shame, shame, shame. I cannot believe that she would guide you to succumb to hatred or anger or fear. She has made mistakes, but these do not define her. And I like go bang on my chest, and I break one of the little vials that has, because not actual blood or looking red at all, because that would be very problematic and, you know, senses. So the blackness starts to spread through his white tunic that the striking ballpeen has sewn in the random pockets. So here is my dramatically, I have been hit in the heart as the black starts to spread. I would argue that so too has Phoebus made mistakes, yet Lady Pandaea robbed him of the chance for redemption in his lifetime. A regret so great, her soul has yet to move on from the mortal realms. Mother and child trapped, so bound are they by the mistakes of the past. I fall like backwards on my knees. I have pretty good athletics, so I'm still relatively up, but I'm now backwards. One sec. Willful ignorance banishes wisdom. You must help them heal, mortals. Jonathan, they are your blood. You must find a way to set their souls free from this torment. Honored guests, you must find a way to aid Kaldor's prince. And Jonathan, you must set aside your pride to accept such aid. And I'm going to throw back to the words of his father, which were told to me by Tarala. My voice is going to shift to a lower resonant, like that of tradition and stability, the very Parsiep feeling of tutelage that I'm trying to evoke, as my voice switches to that of King Alexander Marcus. These people are here to offer aid. A good ruler knows when to ask for assistance. It is not weakness to ask for help. It shows great strength to do so. Don't be such a prig. Parsiep embodies tradition and the wisdom of our fathers. Alas, I fade. Lady Arisea, Lady Nymphea, your tears at my fate move me, but save your strength, gentle ladies, for I do not need it. Kaldor does. Listen well to the wisdom of the dragon. Only through searching your heart and facing your flaws can you overcome them, for fearlessness brings strength. Only through recognition and acceptance of your flaws can you become unassailable, for truth brings inviolability. You must forgive yourself your flaws, so you may begin to forgive them in others. Solicitude brings peace. Lastly, know you have the power to cast off doubt and become the best versions of yourself in this lifetime, if you have the courage but to try. Have faith in yourselves and each other. For surety brings dramatic death backwards. As I sweep the cape up around me, I'm going to use the cape to stealth roll out of vision, and as it falls to the ground, you hear the single word, victory, as it lands on the ground.
Okay. All right.
With a whole bunch of inspire actions for fearlessness brings strength, truth brings inviolability, solicitude brings peace, and surety brings victory. I want to inspire every single one, like courage, compassion, valor, and temperance, before I fucking peace out of there. Excuse me, language.
Okay, what I might do is get you to, oh geez, what should I do?
Don't be such a prig. Was my favorite part of that previous conversation. I thought now was a good throwback to remind him of the words of his father.
Okay,
Hey, Caleb.
I really wanted to try and cover Kalis and Sarah / Heron, but it looks like we've lost a Dux for the meantime. So, Plucky, would you be okay me holding that back for a little bit?
Yes, that's fine. Now, I totally understand.
I'm really sorry.
It's okay. It's nobody's fault. Plus, I get to snack on my treats, so win-win for me and Kalis.
Now, Vey, I was laughing my ass off throughout the entire thing there, so I will give you a 3 points done.
Yay!
Okay.
For our audience and myself, what does a 3-point stunt mean?
It gives you 2 dice to your action, plus 2 successes, plus 2 willpower that can exceed your maximum.
Nice.
Now, please just roll once for all those inspires. I don't feel like going through 5 different inspire actions right now.
That's perfectly understandable. Sorry, I'm just heading over to the dice roller. Now that was 2 automatic successes and 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
While you're rolling that, Arthur Shuster, I saw 2 successes in that roll. Did you modify it with anything else?
Point of willpower.
Point of willpower, so 3. Okay. As you take a deep look around the room, you can assign most of these weird sort of potions and cooking things to other to specific things inside the book, as according to Jonathan's notes. A lot of this is sort of just like stinky, steamy, like potions and things that are likely to do nothing other than give anybody who tries to drink them like a bad stomachache. But there is one of them in here. Hang on, sorry, was Johan with you or is he downstairs?
He's probably with me at this point in time. He was working as a relay, but I hadn't sent any message out yet.
Okay. There is one of the concoctions here that seems to take Johan's attention, and as you sort of study it, it doesn't have the same sort of disgusting, horrible smell as everything else. And based on its properties from what you can leaf through on the book, it seems like it might be like a magical potion of some kind, although what its exact effect will be, you don't know. But it's designed to be like basically thrown on someone or something.
I'm also going to pocket that. Also, before I leave, I'm going to steal some of Jonathan's clothes because I am now out of any more moats and I cannot sustain my outfit made of paper for much longer. I don't want to find myself bare-assed in the middle of the diplomats in about 15 minutes.
I can assure you a lot of people would appreciate it appearing fine.
Ladies, gentlemen.
Gods.
Okay,
I
so...
thought you said I shouldn't do that, Hans. Now you change your policy for him?
Arthashastra is an Adonis to your Hercules. Now, Sagacious Hand. The room sort of like... It's a mix of some people sort of, you know, crying because your performance was so stunning, you know, and others sort of just, you know, whooping and clapping from the sort of the wonderful show, and they start congratulating Jonathan on on his wonderful acting. You know, they didn't realize that he was part of the performance as well, which only seems to infuriate him more. Although the more furious he gets, the more people start applauding him.
Oh.
Eventually gets to a point where he just he goes to storm out of the room. Nobody tries to stop him because they think this is part of the performance. He's heading towards the front foyer.
All right. I'm going to have Terrell, as he starts to storm off, Tarala is going to take the non-stabby arm right now and put it on his shoulder and be like, your presence in this scene is not done. After all, it would be a shame if these people were to miss out on the rest of the show.
He brushes your hand off your shoulder. He brushes your hand off your shoulder, and sort of just sniffs derisively. Says, "Well, I'm sure the show must go on," and he is actively making a beeline to move now. Unless you physically restrain him, he will leave.
Tarala simply shakes her head and turns back toward the remaining audience. And she says to them, so it may seem we have lost the Scion, but as life cycles through, we know they will be with us again. So, let us turn to... And hang on one second, I gotta ask. Is De Novo in the room at this point?
Yes.
Because I can't remember. Yes, okay. Let us turn to that which is knowledge and wisdom together, a symbol of Mela, and she gestures to De Novo to take center stage, and kind of is hoping that he might be able to mutter out something about what we've just witnessed here, whether it's through introducing a fact or whether they're not, or explaining through occult procedures of what now we have to do to get out of the Shadowlands, since we have found the secrets.
Yes, De Novo. Yes, Denovo.
You're muted, boy.
Oh, yeah. You're muted somewhere.
That explains so much about what's been happening.
Have you been trying to
Okay,
talk this whole time?
for a while now?
Oh no, so sorry, dude.
I thought you were deliberately.
No, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. No. All right, let's go on though. Like, what can we do?
Sorry, buddy.
Okay. Now, because the thing is, I don't remember this from last session. What's the secret? Because you're telling me to reference a secret, and I don't know what secret you're referring to.
That we, the group who have gone to the crypts, we found out that there was actually 2 children, Selena and a child named Phoebus. Phoebus did something reprehensible enough for.
Wait, did you just reveal that secret?
Yes, and we've just had someone overcome by a fair amount of hate. Like, he's just thrown something at me. Clearly, he wanted me dead. It's like, okay, I'm going to use this as a wonderful motion to try and rally everyone together. Sagacious Hand has said, like, Eclipse power, or as in this power, seems to be, it works that as long as I can keep everyone playing the game, like, together, and not hurting anyone else, so don't attack any spirits, we will be able to get through this night. So if you could, like what she's referencing is, the main person who was taking the stage has just pieced out. Until I can get back to you, like, I just thought then was a really good way to dramatically die, to really, like, drive home all those intimacies. Try and rally everyone together to, like, you could, like, I'm just offering suggestions now. Like, Denovo has a specialty in ghosts, is what we all assumed as a Sohai. You mentioned something last session about bait. Did you want to try and draw the darkness, like, to this room?
To be clear, I mean, bait is in with a very stabby result. I'm making sure you understand what you're asking for.
If you do it with stabbing, everyone will be at risk.
That's why I'm confused.
So this is your challenge. You know what? This is your own personal challenge, and so if possible, you know what? In character, okay? As this has all happened in one area that, like, I've gone underneath the cape, I'm going to use the stealth action to have rolled to the corner of the wall and move around. Torala then taking up the reins to continue the conversation. Eyes are now on her and Jonathan, for me to be able to get to Denovo and just let him know, like, we have about 45 minutes until the sun sets. Now is the perfect opportunity if you can somehow draw the darkness to us and all of us hold hands and candles and peace, love, and harmony this thing out. Now's the time to do it. I can hear Kalis and Sarah are nearby. I need to come and let them know what's going on, because if they hurt anyone, then I don't know if this will work anymore. So you need to not hurt anything, and, like, hand on his blade. Do not stab anything. You can do this. The teachings of Hashish, right? Restraint. Only if absolutely necessary. We've got, like, maybe 3 acts, and it'll all seem like it was totally meant to work. Can you handle this?
Yes.
You can do it. You can do it. Your brain says,
we will
yes,
have
yes.
so many words when this is done, however, my friend. Since you're very happy to make everyone a friend and enforce the situation, I will see this done. Or just send us to Malpheus, which we're not at this point being improvement.
Everyone here will be able to help you. You're not doing this alone.
Oh, I am definitely not doing this alone. He snaps his fingers and calls Shiroi to him, and points to her and says, "I introduced you as my apprentice. Go, apprentice." And so Moose here. So just a quick aside to the audience. I've been speaking on the subject with Elk a fair bit, and he is of the opinion that Novo is a very, not a very outspoken character normally. I will be trying to use Shiroi much more as the more emotive half of the character, for lack of a better word. And I was also told to do asides to the audience. All right. Now, I can't do the Shiroi voice because my throat's in tatters, so you're just going to have to bear with me on that one. Anyway, Shiroi is going to... you had a moose here, Vay?
Just to summarize, if you want to speak about Mela, and so therefore it's still within the performance, this is now a new act of controlling essence, and that is what you're doing, or speak to the power of Hashish and exercising restraint.
I'm just...
Restraint, De Novo. Don't stab anyone.
All right, anyway. Shiroi is going to step towards the middle of the room. As she does so, she will take a breath and say, let's go with Hasaya. Yeah, Hasaya. No, Hasaya is a better combinating figure. The lessons of the Wind Dragon are those of essence, are those of learning. So we have already learned a great deal. So let us instead speak of comprehension. We have seen a youth storm out. A youth who many say shares an uncanny resemblance to the slain prince. Curious. I do not know everything, but I do know that coincidences are rarely just that, a coincidence. So, dear audience, let us play a more interactive role. Who in the audience would dare to speculate why we keep getting these coincidences and why this sad tale of murder would draw such a dire reaction from a youth who shares such an uncanny resemblance with he who has been slain and wronged? Now, she is going to... I'm going to say she's going to instill... Wait, does the audience already have an emotion of curiosity?
You won't know that unless you read intentions.
No, I mean from the barrage of intricacies which have been instilled over the night.
An attempt to instill was made, but you don't know whether anything's actually stuck unless you read the crowd.
All right, she'll read intentions.
Okay.
She'll read to see if the crowd has any sentiment like that.
Okay.
Her social pool 9, so let me do the roll.
Plucky.
Just so the viewers are on the same while he's rolling. Were the players, was like the performers hit by the inspiration as well? Was it merely the audience?
It was... Vay, you're muted.
I went AoE with it, so I'm guessing everyone.
Yeah.
So if that was the case, then I assume that they would instinctively know what emotions have been inspired in themselves, but
unless they resisted it or whatever.
Unless they resisted it, or that just so the audience knew whether the players were also being hit as the performers as well. It's
okay.
getting quite confusing and convoluted.
So 9 successes.
Yeah, Shroyce rolled quite high. So, Shroy's used to watching people from afar, especially when they don't really know that she's there. But in this particular instance, she's, for the first time in a very, very long time, standing in the middle of a room with everybody staring at her. You know, enraptured and wanting to hear her words. It's been so long since something like this has ever happened. You know, De Novo has been her own almost sole companion for so much of what she can remember of her life, that it's strange to not quite be worshipped, but to be paid such close attention. And in this moment of everyone sort of just almost opening up to her, sort of just staring at her, waiting on her every word with bated breath, she's able to get the impression that much of what Sagacious Hand has been talking about has been picked up by the vast majority of the crowd, with a few exceptions. Jonas Auric remains inscrutable. Miserly Weathered Page remains inscrutable. King Alexander Marcus remains inscrutable. Everyone else seems to be buying into everything that's happening.
All right. So she lets the question hang in the audience. Since we do not at present have a child of Mela, I would like to call on the audience to participate. Who will be our inquisitor? Who will answer this question?
Pretty much everyone turns to Nymphaea and Arisea, who sort of step forward excitedly. So you say, and they sort of discuss amongst themselves, you say that Jonathan is the spitting image of this murdered child.
That is correct, child.
Then perhaps he is the reincarnation of Phoebus.
Shiroi leans forward and wags a finger. No. Perhaps it would be so curious if it was. But remember your lessons. Higher and lower, higher and lower. A human soul has two halves. Who would be blessed by Mela and tell us what the two halves of the soul are? She waves her hand at the audience.
Jonas speaks up. You forget the lessons of the dragons, girls. When someone is murdered and offered no rest, then they remain. They do not pass on to Leith, as is good, just, right, and upstanding. So no, if this Phoebus had been murdered, much as the scions of Denard and Hasish have intoned, then he would not have passed on. Perhaps instead he lingers in the blood. Everyone goes, "Ooh." Especially the girls who go, we didn't think of that. Oh, is he possessed?
Oh, possession. Oh, that would be so curious. It'd be grand.
We have to stop him, and they run.
Oh dear. Come on, audience. She claps her hands. We must follow.
Everyone
and she excitedly runs off after them.
Everyone else begins to leave the room. Notably, though, Jonas Auric remains. He moves towards Sagacious Hand.
Sagacious Hand is in the middle of taking off. He's already lost his cape to the stunt, so it's on the floor over there. He's in the middle of taking off his shirt, but that has the blood stains. He's going to have to do or be something else very soon. So shirt off. It's like, hi. I don't know what to say at this point. Just like a general, hey, how you doing? As he's getting undressed.
Something has been bothering me, and I am curious for your answer. truthful answer. Would you be willing to answer it truthfully and claim this inviolability you have been so hard-pressed to engender?
If you want a private audience after the performance, more than happy to. Does the eye waggle towards him?
Places his hand on the wall next to your head and leans in more. Perhaps peaceful solicitude.
Sagacious Hand puts a hand on this very attractive Dragonblood's hip, the other one across his shoulder. It's like, I am incredibly flattered, but I will answer any questions after the performance, okay? And kind of pats him on the butt to try and duck out under and away. I have 45 minutes to get this sorted.
Then it's best you answer my question now, lest I derail this performance.
All right then. Shoot.
I'm not in the least bit fooled by this chicanery. Devastation has been wrought in this kingdom. I have been witness to it. Somehow, though, you have convinced everyone it's all for show. I'm appreciative of your trying to protect the people around you, but one question lingers. By what magic do you impel the dead to remain passive from our guests? For they are the dead, and they do hunger.
If I tell you, can you please help to make sure that that it keeps going, that we can fix this? Because, at this point, he steps forward, the voice, dropping to the conspiratorial whisper. Because I'd really love another set of hands for this crew, because I'm flailing about until everyone can get here to fix this.
And
do you know anything about what's... And read intentions. What is his motivation of asking me these questions? Does he have a suspicion already?
Roll read intentions on him, please, and I'll give you 1 point stunt for it. Kalis!
I got to touch your uncle's
hang on, sorry. De novo, sorry. Your moose handing.
It would be great if this was all actually just a pretext to try to get a date out of hand.
I touched the butt! 3 successes.
This will make Tarala and Ham's relationship really awkward.
That's Uncle Hand to you now.
I don't know who this, you said he's relatively attractive, but also dragon-blooded, and so he's come up, asks me, I want to talk privately. I'm like, yeah, after the show. And then he's put his, pinned me against the wall, and I'm like, damn, son, I like your game, but not right now, so...
Her hand is on the rebound right now. It's not the best time.
When is hand not rebounding? Kalis.
I'm slain.
Savage! Shots fired.
3 successes, by the way.
Thank you, I got that. Kalis.
Cool.
Kalis cooldown is here!
As you enter through the 2 main doors, we're going to continue without Dux, because at the moment he's just not coming back on. So Sarah will be somewhat played by me. I have had some discussions with Dux prior to the game starting, so I know roughly what Sarah was going to do anyway. As you arrive through the front gate, as I mentioned, the ghosts fill this room, and they all sort of turn, look at you with the hungry eyes of lusting for your blood, and begin to fall upon you. Bearing, bearing gnashing teeth, not fangs. They're not all become vampires, but bearing gnashing teeth and claws. Some of them drawing weapons. They seem to come from a multitude of ages. Some of them sort of like would-be noble dressed in finery. Some of them even dressed in funeral garb. Others sort of broken and battered, wearing sort of battle armor and still possessing the weapons, shields, and armor that they once possessed in life. There is no mistake that they intend to tear you apart and drink you dry. If you do not do something, they will join battle with you.
Cool. Just a quick question. I, out of character, suspecting this might be a battle group, but I just want clarity. Is that a case?
Out of character, it is 2 small battle groups.
2 small battle groups.
Yeah, some of
Okay,
them are battle hardened,
cool.
and some of them are just ghosts.
Okay, I want to know. I just so out of character, folks. I'm just trying to gauge how many opponents there are, so I don't slow down combat. Like whether I'm fighting against multiple significant opponents or a battle group, because it will change.
There's a couple dozen.
Okay, cool.
And more coming in from the streets.
Wow. So, because Kalis doesn't know what's happening in the rest of things, I feel there's no reason why Kalis wouldn't join battle to defend Mason and Miss Sarah. So he's going to respond with their violent. They're attacking me, right? They're attacking us. It's quite clear that's what they're doing.
Yes, that is what they are going to do.
Kalis will. In which case, Kalis will. Let me get my accent. Just give me a second. Sorry.
Okay. Get ready to roll join battle. De novo, what do you need?
Oh, I was actually going to ask what Kalis's performance is.
Kalis has performance 4 or 5. Let me just double check. His performance is 4.
Have you considered using that to your advantage?
I have definitely considered it, but Kalis has already seen ghosts from what he knows from his village teaching. These, unless you're an actual shaman who's been trained in the rites of exorcism or moving them, the ghosts will like mercilessly feed upon and like drain their blood and stuff. So from his stories of growing up, he doesn't know any better. He's not
Was he
an
taught
occultist.
any warding? Was he taught any dancers to placate ghosts?
Not these types of ghosts. Honored ancestors maybe, but I don't think it would be appropriate. Like apart from like burning the bodies, apparently helps in these things. But that's why you ritually put your kin to rest. But no, he
I'm from the table. I'm just trying to get you to do a strip show.
I like out of character, folks. In the chat, he was like, "Why don't you magic mic this up?" And I was like, as hilarious as it was, I don't really think that Kalis would start doing a,
Let's try not to bog down screen time with idle chatter, please.
Yeah. Village elders said that Kalis Kodan was high in spirits, but I did not think they meant this. That's basically my join battle roll.
I'll give you 1 point stun for that, just because I laughed. Which calls for a change in music.
A wits plus awareness plus a... Oh, I don't have enough essence to roll good. This could be bad, folks.
Now, what I'm going to do is 2 times, so that puts you at 5. I'm just going to get this combat set up. While I am doing that, I would like to know, Sagacious Hand, you're currently in a social situation at the moment. Did everybody leave, or De Novo, are you still in that room with Hand and Jonas?
It depends which one is.
It's up to you.
Shiroi is with the crowd, and De Novo, like Shiroi can maybe venture as far as like the castle's length away from De Novo, but that's about the max. As far as De Novo, he'll probably stick around and watch while idly picking up pieces of furniture and flash forwarding them into weapons.
Okay. So, Sagacious Hand. Jonas, the goal Jonas has for the scene, or what you pick up from him, is that he is trying to discern the secret of Sagacious Hand. It's well known, or at least well told, that the Ebullient Excelsior is dispossessed of magic of any kind. That there's no sort of exalted magics or shenanigans going on. There's no sort of gods or spirits helping out. It's all just, mortal skill, essentially. Which is one of the big draws to the Ebullient Excelsior. And yet, one of your performers has just outed themselves as a dragon-blooded.
Okay.
And so he is trying to basically uncover the secrets of Sagacious Hand and the Ebullient Excelsior. So that's his intention. And what he says to you is that if you answer my question truthfully, then I promise you that I will help you in every endeavor until we are free of this calamity.
I am going to sanctify that oath.
Are you?
I am.
That costs you motes.
Cost me 10 motes, I believe.
Do you have enough personal motes to do that?
I do, but I'm actually considering just blinging in front of this guy.
Just use the exigent defense.
Just checking my motes. 1 second. I believe it's 10 motes, 1 willpower. Is that right?
Do you need me to look that up for you?
From memory, it is. I don't want to hold things up, so I'll take off 10 motes regardless. I'll just do it from personal.
10 makes 1 willpower.
That's right.
All right. Down. So I'll just use personal for now, and
Okay.
I'm going to sanctify that oath, which is that he's going to actually actively help me in these endeavors.
If you answer him truthfully.
Yeah. Okay. My response is that everything I've said is true to an extent. I wasn't waiting outside the window. I was an hour away, and I felt the ground shudder and saw the castle erupt in some sort of tree. Now, I know that Phoebus was buried under an oak tree, so I was assuming this was some sort of symbolic attack that was going on. I flew here on the wings of hope and prayer and goddamn reckless intent that I'd be able to manage to grab enough people together into some sort of combined group to fight this force. And I've already had this argument with Arthrashasa that perhaps evacuation might have been a much better idea, except if we're evacuating, that's not solving the problem. We've dropped into a Shadowlands, dude, for real. And he, actually, hand on the shoulder, pointing out the window. I'm like, I'm good at illusions. I didn't do that one. So we've got until about 45 minutes until we actually drop further into the underworld, but from my reckoning and from what they've said, until about morning before it sets permanently. So I'm trying to alleviate the weight. He's just kind of generally shrugging. I'm making this up as I go along. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep people together and not panicking. The ghosts aren't attacking me because apparently I've got superpowers. I don't understand enough of it. I can tell you as much as I know, but that's going to waste time. I've already had this conversation. Again, 45 minutes. Is that enough truth to get you on board, to keep these people together? Because everything is true. There's actually someone murdered. There's Lady Pendea Tydeus is still around. Had a conversation with her just like 45 minutes to an hour ago. There's a vengeful spirit? I don't know. Just hands on both his shoulders at this point. It's like, I am flailing around, not knowing what I'm doing, but as long as I do it with a smile on my face, no one's going to panic. Have I got you on board to help me with this? And there was no intent to lie there. That's like...
I get you.
If you need actual... Yeah?
Is that enough to actually answer the question?
that is like dropped all guile. That absolute. Yeah, if he's got more questions, then I will follow it up. But I'm flat out.
Okay.
It's wasting time if I stand.
You've put your hands on his shoulders?
Yep.
He lifts up one of his hands and puts it on your hand on his shoulder. He says, "By what power? Tell me true."
It takes a minute. He's like, the shiny one. It's like, the sun god guy. That guy.
His eyes widen. He lets go and almost like physically shoves you off him. You, of course, you're anathema.
People keep using that word, and I find it's just dropped a little bit too casually. So, we good? Like, sorcery, anything. What do you know, man? I don't even know your name at this point.
He sighs quite heavily. Well, foolishly, I have already given you my word. And so I will stand by my word, for I am not anathema. So I will help you, and let you know that your friends in the foyer are currently doing battle. You mentioned before you didn't want anyone to commit violence. This perhaps will pose you a problem. Avis, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
I gotta start remembering when I'm muting myself. Anyway, Denovo raises his head up at the mention at your words. It says, "Violence?" He tilts his head.
What was that word?
Violence? He tilts his head while turning the word into a question.
Yes, your friend was very particular about the conditions of this game, that violence was not to be enacted, and yet his compatriots are in the foyer right now, committing violence against the gathered ghosts. Quite honestly, I don't know why we didn't just fight them all to begin with. But yet somehow, something has protected us.
Hindsight. Anyway, I'm gonna go see to that. He's at this point made a few dozen swords while both of them were talking, and just casually dumps piles into their hands. I've imbued these with salt. That should ward off.
No! God! Just...
Well,
Sagacious hand starts...
He runs away before he used the weapons, most in a way you down so you couldn't stop him. And then he runs off. I won't attack them unless they try to stab me, I promise.
Okay, Sagacious Hand turns to the Dragonbloods, whose name I still don't know. You need to stop him. I need to, like, if they haven't joined the game, then at least they're not within this protection. But De Novo has been pulled into it. If he hurts anyone, then the wardings that are up are going to fail, and the ghosts can attack everyone. What we're trying to, as I'm addressing to, again, unnamed Dragonblood, please, he's like, God, up. He's like, I don't know what to do here. You're part of the game, so if you leave and if you attack anyone, then that's you. Okay, it's like, don't hurt anyone. Like, don't hurt anyone, and stop them from hurting anyone else. Like, be their shield. okay? Whatever ridiculous stunts they're going to try and pull against each other, they are just a bunch of ghosts. We have technically fallen into their realm, and oh my god, if you know any sorceress occult or any actual reason to be able to summon whatever vengeful spirit darkness this is that is actually plaguing this kingdom. Again, truthful situation. Please let me know, but go. Just stop him from killing anyone. And kind of pushes unknown Dragonblood towards the situation to ensure that all my friends are safe and all the ghosts are safe. So everything for now is okay.
He goes to move swiftly, but pauses at the door before he leaves, returning back to you. One last thing, Mr. Hand. The next time you are in Tubarana, we will have another private meeting, and you will answer more of my questions. Jade Phoenix Soul was generous enough to offer your services to my kingdom. Bows to you. Just to ask for King Jonas Auric. And then he turns and leaves.
Oh, shit. In character. Shit. Alright.
Now, Kalis, you and Heron and Mr. Mason are being attacked.
Mm-hmm. What's what was I gonna say? We're in the foyer, right?
Yep.
And there's a balcony overlooking it, if I remember correctly.
Yes. So there's like stairs that lead upwards to like a, what would you call it? Yeah, about a balcony. But it's not just a balcony. It looks down over the entrance hall, and leads off into the private suites on the second story.
Does it lead to where the library, or like? Sorry, I'm being really annoying now, and I'm asking layout questions.
No, that's okay.
Because this is quite important.
The library? You mean the library with a picture in it?
Yes. So what I'm thinking out of character to help Elk and the viewers keep speed. Mason is very fragile. I really care about Mason. I have an ability to like give up my movement and potentially maybe get him clear of this situation to safety and face the ghost army. So what I'm trying to look to, is there a way that I could, because I know that like battle groups can attack multiple people, so I can't really stop them from descending on him, but if I can get him away from the ghosts and to the rest of the other people who have more safety in numbers, so that is my intention. But I don't know the layout of the castle, and usually in these kind of roleplay you don't need to worry too much about that, but in this particular instance, because I'm moving somebody away, it might be significant.
Yes, so the layout, as sort of has been covered before, is you're in the entrance hall. So to get to the library where you met with the king, you would need to go towards the left wing on the ground floor, and there's a door that leads into a drawing room, and then from that drawing room is another door that leads into the library.
Right, so you need to get onto the ground floor.
You're already on the ground floor. As you come in, it would basically be on your left.
Okay.
Also of note, would be something you'd know, is that also towards the left is a servant's door that leads down towards the weapon repository. And if you can remember why that is significant, or if anyone can remember why that's significant, I will give you an expression bonus.
Looks like DeNovo wants to chime in.
Anyone. It's up for anyone.
I know.
You've already had your expression bonus, so please give someone else a try. Anyone who can guess this correctly, message me. Message me.
Actually, I was just gonna say, kind of outing myself in front of everybody. Wouldn't that have counted as my Dragonblood expression bonus for facing danger or going into harm in the course of protecting or upholding a major and defining intimacy?
What were you upholding?
The fact that I was upholding the fact that I have a major tie to Sagacious Hand.
Then yes, I'll grant that to you.
Okay, cool. Then I just wanted to make sure, because that would be like, well, I was thinking, wait, am I disqualified from this?
No. So yeah, you get your expression bonus for that.
Awesome. Cool.
If anyone wants to guess, just send me a message very quickly. While I get the rest of this battle set up. I'm almost done.
The armory.
Did you want to repeat the question?
That's weird.
Why is the armory significant in this moment? I have mentioned it in game.
Quite a flurry of typing there, folks. Everybody messaging Elkavash there.
If anyone in the viewers has seen the previous episodes and wants to have a go, then throw it out there, and I'll let you give anyone you like an expression bonus.
Ooh. In the meantime, just to fill in some dead air, woo, that Jonas. He's handsy until he finds out that you may or may not be a demon. God. Never felt
Some people on this.
so fast.
Some people on their standards, hey, they. Oh, what's this?
God damn.
The noble's
Hey, I'm just saying, nothing's saying that he's still not into you.
So,
All right.
so Elkavash. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Nobody has correctly guessed the significance of the armory.
Oh.
You come up with some good ideas, but it's not why it's actually significant. But that's okay. We can keep going. So, Kalis.
Do I believe that I could, during the positioning of the ghosts and the things, do you think I could throw,
You would need to throw
Mason,
him through
safely.
the door, because it's currently closed.
Okay, that would probably hurt him.
It would undoubtedly hurt him, but, like, is that better than him being dead? De novo.
But do you still have your abrasor? You still have your, like, shin plate? I forgot. The greave. Do you still have your greave?
Yeah, I do
You're
indeed.
roughly 10 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't you theoretically use your bracer as, like, to break down the wall, then send Mason after it?
No, but that has inspired me for another action. I'm gonna assume that, like, every fancy place that I know of, that there's gonna be, like, really high ceilings and a chandelier. And I'm assuming these ghosts can't fly. So, I am going to,
Hurl him upwards a range band?
throw him upwards onto the chandelier.
There is indeed a chandelier in this room. In fact, I've mentioned it before. The only problem with this chandelier is that it is lit with hundreds of candles.
Oh.
Now, if you can find some way to stunt that that's not going to present a problem in some way, then go ahead. Otherwise, yes, your action will succeed. But very quick, I'm not quite finished setting up this battle because there is one more thing I need to find, which is the good old... darn it. Sorry. The video's going to look a little funny for a moment. Where are you? There you are. There we go. The video should be fixed now. Where are we? 1, 2, 3. 3. I'm just playing on Heron's behalf here.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay.
Well, I'm glad I have your approval.
plucky seal of approval there. It's more of an acknowledgement than approval. Oh gosh, is this gonna actually work? It is gonna work because Mason's too cool to, like, die.
Okay. Heron and you are on initiative 5.
What was the initiative of the battle groups, if I may inquire?
You're about to find out.
Ooh.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
The war ghosts act first.
Seeing the encroaching war ghosts with bloodthirst menace in their hearts, Kalis squats down, takes in the massive breath, filling his gigantic lungs, readying his rear serpent staff. He pulls it up to his lips while swooping up Mason in his other hand, leaps into the air, lets out a breath, creating a gust from his ultimate useful tube, funneling it at the chandeliers, hopefully extinguishing them, and then throwing Mason onto the safety of the supports of the chandelier.
That's a cool stunt. Do you have some sort of reflexive charm that allows you to do this right now?
Yeah, but strength, because it's like part of the strength hiving.
Hiving heave?
Yeah, I'm just putting it part of that stunt to make sure he lands safely, as that's like the charm lets him land safely. And I'm assuming there's going to be an unlit place on the candles anyway, like the center support usually doesn't support candles and should be inferior enough to support a human being, but I thought it'd be much cooler to just like blow out all the sort of like kind of rule of cool here. But that's effectively how I'm able to move.
No, it was. That's fine. It's oh wait, it is reflexive.
Yeah, and it just does mean I'm going to be stationary, but that's fine because I wasn't planning on moving this turn.
Oh,
so...
actually no. You have to have used strength increasing exercise, or increasing strength exercise, sorry, prior to using strength high heave.
Why?
Because it says so in the charm.
That's for like horses. How many range bounds away is it? I assume
it's only one up.
That's only if I want to like push an ally on a horseback. Two range bands or more.
The very first. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry for the rules chatter, but no. Like, you need to have used increasing strength exercise to be able to use strength high heave. It says so in the first paragraph. That's okay. If you're being blindsided, that's fine. You've had tons of time getting here. You've had tons of time getting here, so I'll rule that you could have used strength increasing exercise on the way here.
I mean, sorry, guys, I'm getting a little bit bamboozled. I don't want to like argue with rules, but the Strength Heave has like several layers, where power infusing form buffs it, and so does 99 throws. But I don't want to like slow it down by arguing that. I'm not sure if I have the moats in that case to power it with the prereq. So let me just look at the prereq for that in athletics. I've also copied and pasted you the first paragraph of Strength High Heave.
Oh, right. No, sorry. I see my mistake. Thank you very much for pointing that out to me. Normally I would have just pushed on. But yes. You're okay there.
Yeah, sorry, folks. I'm not sure if I would have been able to achieve that anyway, Elk, so sorry. Like, I didn't realise that...
That's all right. Don't worry about it. Let's move on.
Okay,
sorry,
cool.
I was wrong. That's right. I was
That's
wrong.
okay. There's no... I just want to make it, like, awkward. Like... Yeah, so is that okay? Is it real cool?
Yes. Spend your full motes.
Excellent. I will indeed. I'm now down to 3 folks. Kalis is tapped.
So as part of your join battle, you've sort of thrown him up, which is good.
Yeah.
Because the war ghosts get their first attack in. As they start to sort of swarm in around you, they're sort of slashing their claws at you, some of them leaping upon you and actually biting down as you're sort of trying to fend them off with your arms and legs. Some of them are trying to sort of bite down against you. Now, you've actually removed the greater part of your armor, so I'm not going to give you your armor bonus against these attacks.
Yeah.
Okay. So their dice pool is going to be 10 to attack you. Do you want to declare a defense or any defensive charms?
Yes, I would like to defend. As he's coming down from his jump and the war ghosts descend on him, he holds his staff on each side inside of them, and slams them down and pushes it out in sort of almost a brush-like movement, sweeping these insects from the giant. And I'm going to pump my brawl to parry this.
Yep, your stick is we've said is an improvised brawl weapon.
Yeah.
Is it medium size or is it small size?
It's medium, so it gets +1, I believe.
Yep. So after you calculate your parry defense using your dexterity plus your brawl divided by 2. Mm-hmm. If you have a relevant specialty.
Yeah. Yeah. No. My base parry is 5. Sorry. I'm going to use.
So with the stick, it would be 6.
No, that's including the stick as part of.
Oh, okay.
Part of that. So it'd be 4 otherwise, and then 5 with the stick, and I'm then going to use some brawl excellency to pump it up to 1 by 1. Spending 2 motes of essence.
Oh, you know what I've just remembered? I forgot to include might.
What?
Uno memento.
God.
Sorry. I think it's only like an extra die or so.
Are they doing a decisive attack or withering?
Battle groups don't do decisive attacks. They only do withering. But once you have no initiative, any withering damage they do to you subtracts from your health levels.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Save me, ducks.
Oh, it's actually 2. 2, 1. Apologies, everyone. I haven't written down the defense. I really apologize for the delay here. I should have been more prepared for this.
That's okay.
Whilst our GM was looking for that information, hey Avis, were you speaking of Mela and the truths of Mela or Hashish? How did you feel about being on the spotlight? Get to do some of the immaculate stuff.
Don't know if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
I can hear Avis.
Oh, I can't.
I hear him.
Yeah, I hear him fine.
What?
Wait, who?
I can't.
You might have Skype on as well.
Oh, yeah, I figured out what happened. Anyway, no. What I was saying was that I'm not crazy about combat. I mean, I'm not crazy about social combat, but it was good to try to experiment with Shiroi a little bit. But I'm eager to get to the fight and not necessarily fight, but do something with the ghosts. Just need to run real fast and hope that the crowd doesn't arrive before we do. Well, it would be fun to stick Shiroi on the ghosts. That's a whole other thing.
Our character, I'm really concerned. Kalis has been throwing people around left, right, and center, and is left really drained. So this is a serious situation for him to be in. I don't know how martial prowess Dux is. I mean, I'm assuming our casual is martial arts style charms and stuff. So hopefully Miss Sarah will be good.
We'll save you, Dux. Though at block, don't worry.
Yay!
We'll save you and Duck.
Oh my god. I can't believe this is taking me so long. I'm really sorry. There we go.
No, don't be sorry, dude.
Okay, sorry. So the dice pool is actually 12. Sorry, not 10.
Yeah.
And I will give you a 1-point stunt for your defense, which pushes you to 7, I think.
Yes, that will be 7.
And you spent some motes for your defense as well on brawl.
Yeah, so that in total that'd be 7.
In total, you sure?
Yeah. So 1 from the stunt, 5 from my parry, and 1 because I can only pump me up by 1 from the brawl excellency. Like I said, Kalis is now sitting on 1 mote.
7 in total.
Yeah.
Well, luckily they don't hit you.
That is lucky.
However, hasn't written this out. 1 second, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, divided by 2. It's 4.
Does B-Star have any defensive like buffers and stuff?
I'm double checking it now. Sorry, it is a little bit slower because we don't have ducks, so I'm sort of doing double duty here.
This is yeah. So just like you folks at home know what's happening, Elk is having to like NPC a player character in the scene, and like yeah, it's just like it's very hard to like NPC in combat because you don't know, not necessarily like familiar with all the charms like by rote. I mean, I certainly aren't. So yeah. That's why it's going slower, and plus I am sure my plucky flabbergastedness like probably threw him with the charm and stuff, so I apologise for that.
As for where they go next, I have no idea. I don't know, like how. I don't like. I'm pretty sure a lot of intimacy's hit. We've got enough people that at least truth, love, power of friendship can try and blow this thing away. But we don't know where Phoebus is, what Phoebus is. I was hoping maybe with your occult ability that DeNovo could, and here's where I fail because I'm like, do something, because the other ghosts are a distraction for the main threat, which is Phoebus.
Yeah, I'm looking for Phoebus. I'm looking after Jonathan, and if I figure if I kill him and I don't get Ghosty and Ghosty doesn't kick in, then it's probably not him. Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking about that. By the way, I'm gonna actually look for the ghost.
Okay, so as the ghosts sort of swarm in and start sort of ravaging at you, you're able to sort of knock them all back with your staff, sort of left, right, and center. Heron's doing a pretty good job, bringing up her hands and sort of parrying them left and right, knocking them up, knocking them down, knocking them around. But just as she sort of overextended on one, two of the ghosts sort of just leap onto her back and just bite down into her shoulders as she just screams in pain and stumbles forward. Their withering attack has done 5 damage to her, crashing her. So if she takes any more damage from this group, she'll start taking health level damages. It is now Kaelus's action. And that is where we'll take our first break today.
Ooh. Cliffhanger, folks. Hashtag concerned.
All right, everyone just wants to grab a quick drink and have a quick break. We'll try and make this quick because we're in the middle of combat and we don't have a super long today because this is just a bonus session. So hopefully we'll be no longer than 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back in a minute. And welcome back. Thank you very much, everyone, for sticking with us. We've just entered some tense combat scenes with some ghosts in the hallway of the Grand Castle of Caldor Keep. Kalis Kodan about to throw down with some ghosts. He has tossed Mason, the butler, into the chandelier above him, where he is sort of holding on for dear life, watching the occurrences from below. Several of the ghosts have managed to get through Heron's guard, or Sarah's guard, and sort of latch on and start taking some bites out of her shoulders as she sort of stumbles forwards and has some problems. Culture Shock, your camera is flickering, just FYI. Whatever you need to do to stop that from happening. Kalis.
Acknowledge my presence, machine.
Kalis, it is your action.
His usual calm demeanor switches to that of desperation and fury. Kalis picks up the Ruku Serpent Staff and wildly slams down upon the heads of the gnashing ghosts on Miss Sarah, trying to sweep them from her and get to his friend. This will be a withering attack with my Rue Serpent Staff? Rue Village Serpent Staff?
Okay, I'll give you 1 point stun.
Nice. Sorry, I'm just preparing the dice pools.
No, that's right. While you're rolling that, after Shasta, what kind of clothes from Jonathan's are you trying to grab from here? Anything specific, or just whatever you can find?
No, just functional. I just want pants. I assume they wear pants. What's their garb like here?
We'll say like 14th century England.
Pantaloons then, and some sort of doublet to throw over.
No, that's fine. Now, you're a tall person, aren't you?
We'll cover the most of him as quickly as possible. That's what he's going for.
Well, that's just the thing. You're a tall person, aren't you? At 6'1"?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your strength and stamina?
2 and 2.
Okay, not too bad. So you'll probably show a little bit of midriff, because Jonathan is smaller than you, or shorter than you.
Sweet, halter top.
But you are about the same sort of frame size, so you're able to sort of button on his shirts and doublet and all that sort of stuff quite easily, and otherwise fit into his clothes. But like the pant legs are a little bit too short, and the sleeves are a little bit too short, and the shirt's a little bit too short, even though the jacket covers most of it. You know, you can see the belly button showing, sort of thing.
I get 6 successes, by the way.
6 successes.
Thanks.
You hit with 1 threshold success. So
nice.
Your strength?
What's their soak?
Oh,
my strength is 5.
Plus the damage of your weapon.
Plus 9.
Plus 1.
Minus soak.
Is 8. As in their soak
8
is 8.
dice for damage?
No, their soak is 8.
Oh, okay. No. Okay, so that's 6 dice.
Roly-poly. 10s count as 2s because this is a withering attack.
It does indeed. I have succeeded 1 time. Thanks, dice.
Alright, you gain 1 initiative for succeeding at a... I'll just talk this through for the audience. Attacking a battle group isn't like attacking a regular character. You can't gain initiative from doing withering attacks against them, but you still do get initiative for succeeding at the withering attack. So Kalis' initiative increases by 1 to 6. The ghosts that he's attacked, though, don't take withering damage. They take what's called magnitude damage, and he's done 1 magnitude damage to them, so I'll mark that in. Essentially what magnitude damage will... because they're ghosts, and because they have they're fearless, they never have to make route checks. Any magnitude damage you do to them consists of you basically rending apart their spirit form, leaving nothing remaining.
I'll be at 5 initiative, thanks, because I'm also attacking with an improvised weapon, because my artifact counts as an improvised weapon, so I shouldn't have moved anywhere in the initiative. Should be stationary.
Spent 1, got 1 back. Next up,
absolutely.
So Kayla starts swinging his staff around, sort of beating him through their heads, just sort of cuts through a couple of them, sort of as they sort of explode into ethereal mist and start to dissipate. As Sarah has stumbled forward, the sort of battle-hardened looking ghosts sort of having driven her forward and biting against them. The other ghosts in much more sort of noble attire start to pile upon her as well, moving through each other as if sort of coming in through attacking. Much more people sort of crowding around and sort of slashing out and biting and grabbing at her than would normally be possible for one person being surrounded by many. But these ghosts don't seem to be obeying any kind of laws like that. Kalis, you get caught up in this stream as well as they're trying to pile on top of her. Any that pass you sort of scratching out or biting at you as the opportunity arises. I have to add that to 2, sorry, and be there.
Using his gigantic form, he tries to leverage his size and sheer mass to move his elbow to jar teeth and fang out, basically sort of moving with his body to disrupt. As one ghost leans in, his elbow comes to connect to push another's more in the way. As a arm outstretches, he moves his staff to pin it to another, doing his best to stave off this assault.
Oh, I'll give you 1 point stunt for your defense.
Now my parry will be 5 because of onslaught penalty.
Yes, because I was about to say, because Heron has been attacked in this round, she has 1 less defense. I'm going to say that Heron spends a minimum of 4 points on her martial arts excellency to boost it by 2. And then they attack. So they've rolled 5 successes. What was your defense, Kalis?
5 due to the onslaught penalty, so I'm going to get hit with 0 threshold successes, I believe.
Yep, same with Heron.
Unless, no, you can't. No, don't worry, folks. I'm just going to ask a question.
Okay. Which is 11 dice. So what's your soak, Kalis?
It is natural soak of 3 because my armor's been turned off.
3, so 8. Kalis
The
takes...
exclamation's wrong point.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
Oh. That would crash me.
Way. And then against Heron will be... Cheapest creepers. Well, there you go, folks. As the ghosts sort of start thrashing down and around, tearing past Kalis, a few of them manage to sort of scratch down his arms, a few of them sort of lashing out, sort of grabbing onto his body and just starting to bite in at his torso where he's unprotected. They haven't quite begun to draw blood, but you're having trouble fending them off. Heron, on the other hand, Heron, on the other hand, just gets dogpiled. They start to tear at her flesh, rending it, biting down, sort of sucking up as much blood as they can. The more blood that they drink, the more solidified they become, and they start to sort of howl with fury and glory. Heron has taken enough damage, unless she's taken... She has not. Heron is now at -4. If she takes any more damage, she will die. And that's when, in the top banister, Arthur Shuster joins the scene.
Yay, save us, Johan and your Ikuri.
Arthur Shuster, if you could please roll join battle.
Unleash the ridiculous might of survival.
Yes, Denobo?
It's a shame we can't get the rights to Who Let the Dogs Out for our Shasta speak song.
Give it time, good friend, give it time.
Elk, are there many ghosts on the street, or are the streets empty at the moment?
They're coming here.
Oh,
You see,
well, okay.
because of a certain fact that was introduced through law, the ghosts are flooding here to basically attend the party, but with no real goal other than to attend the party.
Oh, great.
So they're all coming here.
I have a stunt. I have an idea.
Okay.
Is it a 6-hour play?
Arthur Shuster joins battle at 6. Kalis.
I know. So the first one is Arthur Shasta, and the second one is Johan. So Arthur Shasta comes in.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
at
7?
And Johan's going to come in at 7.
Wait. So, didn't you say Arthur Shuster was first, or was Johan first?
Arthur Shasta's first. Arthur Shasta has initiative 8. Johan has 7.
Really? Did I count
Very
that wrong?
nice rolls there. The 10s have not been counted, which can be confusing,
right.
folks. So
Oh gosh.
Yep.
yeah, sorry,
Salame.
Elka, for
Salome.
I'll look and wait, see if we can get Dice Roller or factor that in, because that would be really great if we could count 10s and stuff.
How dare you not juggle every element of this game, Elk?
I'll just
right.
have to learn to code a bot of some kind.
Yeah, I mean, he'll do it, folks, as well. He's very good at succeeding.
Now, Arthur Shuster, so you've come in and you can see Sarah on the floor being torn apart. She fights back meekly, but unfortunately, due to her grievous wounds, she's unable to sort of fend off the ghosts around her. I rolled for her and she missed. So it's new round. So Kalis, you gain 5 motes.
Thank you.
And at the start of this round, as Arthur Shasta is at the top of the banister looking down on the battlefield below, this gory scene taking up, you can hear Tarala's voice call out.
Oh no.
How many feet below me are they?
It would be 1 range band.
Okay.
You're basically on the 2nd story, you'd be jumping down to ground level. There is a chandelier on which there is precariously perched a frightened Mr. Mason. Oh, no, he's not actually frightened. He's sort of, shaking his fist and going, hurrah, hurrah, sort of calling encouragement down to sort of Kalis and Sarah, sort of gasping in shock as Sarah is sort of thrown to the ground, says, no, I'm not... hang on, what's his voice again? I'm an old man. Oh no, Sarah, please stand, you can do this, fight back. So, Tarala, as you were leaving the room from the sounds of battle, what was it that you called out?
Oh, I didn't. No, she never called anything out.
Didn't you?
No. No, what was going to in between? I was saying, if only she had known about it, she could have just sent a little message to them.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So you're
Yes, she
currently
did,
in the
like-
you're currently in the drawing room. Oh, that's right. You're in the drawing room. Jonathan is exiting the drawing room into the hallway where the ghosts are. You can see battle ensuing, and through the doorway, and the guests start to sort of gasp with excitement. It's like, oh, how interesting! And it's like, is that It's like, wow, those, you know, this is highly realistic. And they start talking about this girl on the ground being ripped apart by these spiritual actors. Yes, DeNovo.
I'm going to do a thing.
Do a thing.
All right. Well, Shiroi will turn to the audience and say, now we come to the part of Hesaya. That's the last dragon that's the only dragon we haven't covered, right?
Yeah, there's Hashish and Sextus Giles. If you want to work in compassion in here, go for it. Let's just improv like crazy.
I'm going to go for an emotion, but it's a compassion.
Uh-oh. Thumbs up, we can do it.
Because Shiroi was technically not part of the party, I don't think, anyway.
Yes, she was.
Oh, goddamn. Okay,
She took a role in the last scene. She's part of the party.
Okay. Then... Oh! I got it!
Yes?
Now, Hesaya preaches compassion, hope, kindness to others. So, dear audience, and thank God for me doing this, be compassionate and shield that poor girl with your body. Trust in Hesaya, for the ghost will not harm you. And she'll do a persuade roll, and she'll use the emotions they've been inspiring all night to fuel it.
Okay, roll persuade, please, and I will give you a 2-point stunt.
Cool. And since I'm playing towards an emotion that they're currently feeling, isn't there a bonus for playing up an intimacy that
it reduces their resolve?
Alrighty. So base pool of 9, 2-point stunt is.
What's her appearance? It's 4 or 5.
Her appearance is 5 right now.
Okay, she'll get an extra 3 bonus dice. Yes, Tarala.
I was going to say, hearing this and knowing full well that she can't get harmed, as if to kind of show the way, Tarala actually leaps off the banister and lands in the midst of the battle group, creating kind of a gap around her to show that a way can be cleared.
Familiars can spend willpower, right?
Yeah.
As basically as a way to help his stunt along.
Okay.
Shiroi's also spending a willpower on this.
Okay. Bam.
Okay, so that's 8 successes plus the willpower success plus the stunt success. So that's 10 dice, and it's basically telling them to persuade them to use to shield the two with their very bodies.
I got it. An inconvenient task, one might say, because they can't be harmed, can they?
Yeah.
Can they?
No, they cannot. At least I hope not, because that would really suck. Because no one in our party's attacked a ghost that I know of.
No, no one in your party has attacked the ghosts. So, Arthur Shasta.
So I have. They have both of them pinned down, or have any of them? Are they visibly cut or bleeding yet?
Kalis is surrounded. He seems to be fighting them off, but you can tell he's in a disadvantageous
Kalis the strongest
position.
man. I'm not that.
Sarah is on the ground, like cuts and wounds all over her body. She's not quite bleeding out, but like you can, like, you've got medicine charms. Do you have that instant diagnosis thing?
No, I have the surgery charm.
Okay. Did you have medicine 1?
Yeah, I have medicine 3 actually.
Okay, cool. In that case, you can tell just by looking at her that she's close to death if she's not rescued immediately.
Okay. On my action, what I'm going to do is I am.
Oh, no.
I don't know if this would be best attempted as a gambit, but I'm going to try and find something because I'm going to try and find something to slash open my hand and bleed out the window onto the ground with one hand while snapping with the other one, going, Johan, come here, boy, like down there. Deep breath, deep breath.
Is this a stunt, or are you trying to do something here?
Well, usually the dead are attracted by blood, so I'm trying to lure them off my blood so that Johan on his tick can then immolate them with fire.
Oh,
it's a little thing I like to call teamwork.
Just before you, Denovo, Kalis, you were moosing at me. Or were you not moosing at me?
I think you're muted, Plucky.
I was wondering if Culture Shock was going to like make a move to like save Miss Sarah. Just so I'm like aware of what's happening. The guests from the performance, in inverted commas, have now arrived and are kind of viewing us, right, as like a spectacle.
The door has burst open.
Yeah.
All right. Jonathan is stepping out into the scene and starting to take stock. Through those doors, you can see the audience, like all of the nobles and everyone together, led by Tarala and a woman you've never seen before. And they're sort of just pointing out into the hallway as everyone starts to surge forward. So they won't be here until the next combat round.
Okay, are they a ranged band? How many ranged bands are they away?
We'll say 1 or 2, maybe. I haven't decided.
Okay.
Denovo?
Okay, Culture Shock. What's Alfreshash's lore?
3.
Can't you introduce the fact that Yen in Blood is especially attractive to ghosts?
I don't want that to be part of the universe. I played an Open Dark Sun, sir. I am tired of games where everything wants to eat me.
The living and the dead. All that tasty appearance fine, yo.
I have
Plucky,
presents.
what are you trying to do?
I feel like I can make a convincing pitch that
I was considering whether I should like completely burn all my motes to like throw Sarah into the safety of the crowd and let their compassion act as a shield, but I don't want to be eaten by all the ghosts, so I'm like, oh.
Tarala.
Plucky, I actually have a plan for that. Because technically, if I'm just blocking, I'm not actually attacking.
That's true.
Okay.
I could defend other on you at that point.
Are you in range to
With a
defend
certain
me?
scene-long charm, and you'd have enough time to break out of Crash.
Okay, well, I'm going to trust in my... I'm going to trust. So, yeah, I'm going to reflexively... it's quite obvious that Miss Sarah is in, like, real trouble, right? Life or death situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cadis, no doubt Cadis would do this. He's upholding his intimacy. Why did even Plucky... This is, like, Plucky's sentiment over the character. Cadis wouldn't care about that. Is it okay if I heard that bit about the dragons? Would that have carried through the hall?
Yeah, sure.
Which dragon was mentioned? Was it Mena? Mela.
Well,
It's Hashish, actually, was what he said.
Oh,
It was Mela, Hashish, and Passia.
Okay. Too many dragons. Cadis doesn't care about that nonsense. So what Cadis is going to do is he is going to... because I was unsure whether it's 1 or 2 bands, I'm going to say it's 2. I'm going to use my athletics charm called... Oh, where is it? Power infusing... power suffusing... No, where is it? Power suffusing technique. Sorry, folks, I'm flicking between 2 source materials. One technique.
De novo?
Yeah, so
Doesn't Pluck have a special ability to hurt creatures of darkness like ghosts?
Yes. But he has to, like, pay most to use it.
He has to have votes.
Also, it's he doesn't reset to base after a decisive attack.
Yeah, which is not helpful.
He's currently crashed.
Battle groups are my nightmare. I dislike fighting against them as a brawler, unless I'm like Reaper. So yeah, I'm going to spend a willpower. He's going to rush over and like sweep the ghosts over, much like you know when in sports a catcher like dives on the ball and like throws it free.
Yep.
Cadis is going to shoulder barge in sweep up Miss Sarah and then with a flick of her wrist, 'cause she's only slight, is going to like send her into the crowd and say, "May you find the dragon's compassion, and may those that follow shield you." And wait a minute. May you find the dragon's compassion in their opening arms, and may they shield you. And Flinger. As I do so, I'm going to light up though.
How much?
I spend 6 in total. I don't know. It's split between 2 charms. I don't know if that affects lighting up though.
Is it all in one instant?
The exigent defense.
It's. Yeah, I guess it would be because it's using them together. I don't know how it works with 2 charms combined.
Just so you know, when you refill from the turn, you usually refill personal first.
Do you?
Yeah.
I thought it was peripheral first.
No, personal first.
Yeah, personal usually refills first.
Oh, okay then. In which case I won't.
Well, there you go. Yay!
We still have the exigent defense, so don't worry too much about it.
No, motes are refilled into peripheral first.
Yeah, I thought so.
They are? Okay.
Yeah, it's on 174.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we have the exigent defense.
That's right. That was the second edition that they did it. That's right.
Hey, they're dogs running in packs. Duh.
Exigent muscles.
We have the exact same cast mark.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's also an exigent.
Yep.
I mean, I don't care about that. Like,
Now.
Miss Sarah might die.
Now,
Like, that's...
Kalis, you have used, if I understand this correctly, Strength, High, and Heave with Power Suffusing
Yep.
Form.
Yeah.
Riders safely up or forward one, or she may toss human-sized ally forward 2 range fence. Okay, cool. So she's safe.
Yeah.
Doesn't take damage
She's
from your
safe.
throw.
No.
She's just sort of balling into the ghosts and just scattering them aside as you just scoop her up and just flicker back towards the group as they...
I hope, Kel, you'll be able to keep me safe, because I've just burnt all my defenses doing that, so...
Shiroi
No
and
pressure.
Shiroi and Tarala, sort of catching her as she comes by and lowering her to the floor as the group starts to sort of merge in towards the doorway. Jonathan sort of just standing there, eyes wide, because as his body has just flown past him, he's just had the spray of blood just go on his face.
Good, he deserves it.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Arthur Shuster.
Just to be clear, Plucky, have you attacked any of them yet? Do I not know that?
Yes, I've attacked them.
Okay, yeah. Then Arthur Shasta is going to slash open his hand. Try and do a minor wound, but one that will bleed heavy.
All right, we'll call this a, because you want them to draw them up towards you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call this a difficulty 3 gambit, and you'll take 1 lethal level.
Cool. Do I need to roll to hit, or
Yes.
I don't want to play on planning DV to myself. Okay.
Oh, not to attack yourself. I mean, like the group for your gambit. But
Okay.
I'll let you use social statistics for this hit, if you like, if that's better for you. Does that make sense?
Can it mix match, or does it have to be one or the other?
Mix
Could
match.
I make a charisma martial arts roll?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
Alex,
Yeah.
while he was doing that, should I get prepared to join battle as my plan I still intend to do?
At the beginning of the next round, you will need to roll join battle. Yes. So if you want to get that out of the way now, please do.
Okay, cool.
Can I roll join battle?
spent 4 motes to buy 2 successes on it.
All right, Shot. That is a hit with your decisive attack. Now roll your initiative against a difficulty of 3. And yes, De Novo, please roll.
Alrighty. Can I stunt it?
If you're going to stunt it, please wait until the beginning of the next round.
Alright.
Success.
That's a success? Okay.
No,
Yes.
I gotten a stunt on that for the description of how I was going to go in, leaping in to the middle to kind of show the path and everything.
Okay, save the stunt for the beginning of the next round, and we'll just add any dice or successes from your roll. So that applies to you as well, Denovo. Okay, so Arthur, you have just spent four initiative on your gambit as you sort of slash your wound open, sort of spray it down the stairs. The ghost starts to sort of hiss with hunger in turn. Now sort of bereft of their immediate meal, this sort of fresh blood spilt upon the carpets of the banister stairway seems much more appealing. And they start to sort of move towards the stairs. It is Johann's action.
They're at short distance?
They are at short distance from you, yes.
Taking a huge billowing breath that seems to almost like double his frame, Johann exhales, and as he does so, a strong sulfurous like odor permeates the entire courtyard as like visible gas begins to distort the air and is expelled out, and then moments later it bursts into fire, like following the original path, like straight into the line of the undead drawn to the blood, as he just like rakes like a line of fire across the battle group.
I will give that a 2-point stunt. That was very nice and evocative.
Johann will spend his willpower on a success.
Is this withering or decisive?
It's a withering.
Okay.
I mean, it's a battle group, but yes, it's withering.
Wait, why is Now Playing saying no song is currently playing? That's not right.
All right, between the willpower, the stunt success, and the 2 10s, he will get 12 successes to hit.
Choo. All right, they haven't acted yet after the last set, and they have suffered. Was it 1, 2 attacks? So their defense will be down by 2. Which battle group are you attacking with this one? The sort of nobly dressed one, or the battle ones?
On Sarah, like. I have a stronger connection to Kalis, but I also think that he is the ultimate beefcake who can have a mountain dropped on his face and walk away. So I'm less concerned about him than I am her. So we'd be trying to defend that group.
Okay, cool. So that is. Hang on. Sorry, how many successes was Johann there?
12.
12. So that is 10 thresholds.
All right. The base damage is 15, so that would be 25 raw damage before soak.
And this group's soak is 4. Yes, Denovo.
We've been rolling Shiroi the wrong way.
What do you mean?
When she's in mortal form, her social pool is 12.
Okay, we'll note that for future.
Yeah, that's what I was pointing out.
You said their soak was 4?
Mm-hmm. Criminy. 12.
Survival.
I think 13, actually. There's 2 10s there.
Oh, yes, there is.
Dude, I have 3 motes. Next turn, I will actually have the ability to start using survival charms. Then stuff will get real.
As the heat of the flame billows down the staircase, the less sort of combat-dressed ghosts get caught up in the flames. their spiritual essence sort of rapidly changing from one form to another. The fire acting as the catalyst, as the staircase, the tapestries, and everything around it all starts to catch fire, eradicating them completely. Johan has dropped them a size. They are only size 1. So Johan gains one initiative for succeeding on the withering attack, plus the break bonus of 5. Which puts him at 13 initiative. You can hear their screams and wails of horror as they start to disappear. The battle-hardened group, however, storms up the staircase towards you. They are going to use a movement action to sort of move up and around the stairs up towards you. And they are going to attack. As they start to sort of clamber up the stairs, they no longer move like humans. They don't sort of just tromp up. They start to sort of, drop down to all fours and sort of scamper up, jumping between banisters and walls, swinging on the burning refuge as they sort of burst out through what remains of the flames. Some of it still sort of catching on them and their weapons as they sort of start to dive down towards the blood that you've spilled, finding it caramelized by the flame and sort of completely useless to them as they then sort of use that momentum to bounce back upwards, flinging out with their swords, blades, claws, and teeth at you and Johan. Yeah. Do you want to declare defense of any kind?
My parry is 4.
And Johan?
Also 4.
Eight, 9, 10 successes.
Oh, snap!
Giving them 6 thresholds. 6, so their base damage is 21. What's your soak and Johan's soak?
Arthur Shasta will spend a mote, and as their spectral claws start reaching out towards his flesh, trying to rend the essence and vitality of it, they're gonna be rebuffed by a pearlescent shield that seems to cover everything. I will have a soak of... Arthur Shasta has a soak of 5. Johan has a soak of 8.
Okay. Five would be 16. This is Arthur Shasta first.
Oof.
Hmm. 10 on Arthur Shasta and 5 on Johan. Bring Johan to 8. And... oh dear. 8, 9, 10, 11... What's 11 minus 4 really quickly is...
That would be 7, no?
7.
7. So Arthur Shasta is dropped to -7. You are crashed.
Uh-huh.
They just swarm all around you. It's impossible to get good footing. There's just so many of them jumping around. sort of trying to lap up at your hand as you're sort of waving back. Johan seems to fare better, still being overwhelmed by them, but sort of using what's left of the wisps of flame from his mouth to sort of ward them back as they're a little bit wary of the fire. With that, it's the end of the round. Arthur Shasta, Johan, and Kalis all gained 5 motes. Yes, Kalis.
Do I get an action this round? Because I used my reflexive action.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, you do. You do. It is your action
Fantastic.
now. The battle group has moved, so you're no longer embattled by them, so you can move without disengaging.
Yep. I can't move because Kalis is uses movement, but what he can do is take out his water skin. And like you said, the rest of there was like fire everywhere or somewhere.
Yeah, down the staircase, things like tapestries, hanging silks, and things. The
Yeah,
staircase
so
themselves, the
what
banisters, has wisps of fire coming off them.
What Kalis is going to do is take out his ultimately useful tube, use it as like a hose pipe, and funnel through his water skin through it, banging down on the water skin to propulse the water out and like try and put out the fire from where he stands.
Okay, I'll allow that. No roll. As the water just sort of sprays out, emptying your water skin in one big gush as it just sort of sprays out and dampens the fire around it. The tapestries and silk and hanging cloths taking only minimal damage from the short term of the fire. Is that a moose hand, DeNovo?
Yes. So you said it would take. So now that this round is over, then the party has had time to arrive, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Alrighty. So then, as the party's charging forward, wait, Kel, do you want to do your thing first?
Well, I was just going to say the change, a slight change in the entrance, but I wound up rolling 3 successes, bought 2, so I'd be at initiative 8 for join battle.
Mm-hmm.
In order to kind of showcase, she would basically leap over the bulk of the group into like the middle where now Arthur Shasta's actually the one being covered, because Kayla seems to be fine in this case because things have changed. And with the sword from earlier, using that to as her actions, activating a simple charm to defend other on Arthur Shasta for the duration of the scene, reflexively. But
what charm is this?
That can wait. This is Flame Warden stance.
How close do you need to be to Arthur Shasta to do that?
I have to be within close range to get the benefits of the defend other. I can declare it from any range.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
when this round begins,
say,
you'll be entering out into the hall, so you're 1 movement band away from him. You'll just have to run up the stairs. Just newly doused, thanks to Kalis.
Alright. Which wouldn't really matter as much because, Dragon Blood's fire.
So, sorry, did you stunt your join battle?
Yeah, basically the idea was, originally my stunt was the sort of show people that it sort of parts from her, but that would be kind of a movement thing. But either way, I rolled join battle and I got a total of 5 successes. So I'm at initiative 8. My stunt wouldn't work anymore because of the change in circumstances.
Okay, cool. DeNovo, did you want to stunt your join battle?
Yes, especially because I almost botched that if I didn't spend the willpower.
You can't botch your initiative.
I would find a way. Okay, so you said they were up the staircase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, seeing that Tarala is moving to shield Arthur Shasta, DeNovo will run towards Johan, and as he's running, he'll unlatch the canister from his back.
Yep.
And draw out the swords within, and basically draw one of the longer ones out and throw it towards the staircase. driving it into the stairs, and then at the start of the step, he's going to actually do a jump, flip onto the sword, and basically launch himself from that to land on top of Johan.
Using it like a springboard.
Yep.
Cool. I'll give you 1 point for
I got
that.
an athletics spot.
So roll 2 extra dice.
Alright.
Yep. Hopefully they're both 10s.
Okay, so my initiative is 8.
Yes, your initiative is 8.
That's hilarious.
Sagacious Hand. As you've come through the doorway out into the drawing room with Jonas Auric, you can see the crowd starting to surge outwards into the hallway. You can see on the floor near the doorway is Sarah, sort of bleeding out and sort of just sort of clutching at herself and sort of trying to sort of move away from the battle. She's severely injured. Tirala and DeNovo are leaping into action with the crowd following them. Kalis seems to be okay. You can't see up to the banister to see what's going on with Arthur Shasta and co.
Okay, I would like to make a inspire action and then followed by a persuade, which is to 1 sec. That music just got really loud, so I need to turn down my stuff.
Oh.
Okay. Sagacious Hand, seeing this from the banister, is going to call out to everyone. Before running, because I have stripped off my shirt with the blood stained, and so I'm going to get one of the few vials that I have left, the Foxfire, and paint my face with I've still got the of blue, so I'm going to paint it with the hollows of my eyes and down the chin, down here, to use the glow of the Foxfire to kind of look like that UV light skeleton face. I am now one of the dead. As I move to the banister, hands gripping the rails, I shout down, honored ancestors, have you learnt nothing during your repose? And you, I'm pretty sure Kalis is glowing at this point. Yeah. Anathema, thrown down by the princes of the earth, bound in the underworld by Denard, what brings you here this evening? I urge for common sense and restraint. Fear is one's only true opponent. Only fear can defeat life. It is a clever, treacherous adversary. It has no decency, no respect for laws or convention, and it shows no mercy. It will go for your weakest spot and start making his way down the staircase. It begins in your mind, always, so you must fight hard to expel it. Because if you don't, your fear becomes a wordless darkness that you avoid, perhaps even manage to forget. You open yourself further to attacks of fear, because you never truly fought the opponent who defeated you. So, dead as I am, I will be the first to speak my truth. I have my doubts. At this, I stand in the middle of the room. I feel that the dragons were wrong in casting down the anathema as they did. Oh, we fought that which was tyrannical, for that was the call of justice, but we locked it away. My mistress has stood watch over the underworld as a guardian to protect the world from desolation, but in doing so has robbed mortals of the chance to do so for themselves. When darkness rises, should not we all, as Denard teaches, rise to self-sufficiency? Her act of grace, of protecting you from the dark, has veiled you in blissful ignorance. Do not misunderstand me, mortals. There is only honor in protecting that which you love and defending to your utmost that which is most worthy of your loyalty. In this, I know the dragons are in accord. I am making an extended metaphor for the actions of Denard and the dragons, as in the Princes of the Earth, slaying the anathema and locking them away. I'm equating it with Lady Tydeus slaying and locking away the secret of her son Phoebus, in that both acts hasn't dealt with the problem so much as fear is what drove someone to that act, and they are still defined by it. In the same way that people fear the anathema, they were thrown down, but the real reason for them being thrown down and locked away has never been dealt with. People still fear this idea of anathema. So only through, not being ignorant can one overcome that fear, which is a true adversary, not anathema, not necessarily Phoebus so much as the idea. So I'm going to be making a persuade action here. You are all fighting the past in vain. As I look to the ghosts who are attacking the living like what they once were, and both the mortals who are attacking the ghosts and who were once mortal. When someone you love dies, you are given the gift of second chances. Their eulogy is a reminder that the living can turn their lives around at any point. You are not bound by the past. That is who you used to be. You're reminded that your feelings are not who you are, but how you felt at that moment. Your bad choices defined you yesterday, but they are not who you are today. Your future doesn't have to travel the same path with the same people. You can start over. You don't have to apologize to people that won't listen. You don't have to justify your feelings or actions during a difficult time in your life, and you don't have to put up with people that are insecure and want you to fail. All you have to do is walk forward with a positive outlook and trust that path is greater than the sorrow you left behind. The people of quality that were meant to be in your life won't need you to explain the beauty of your heart. They already understand what being human is. A wild ride of emotions during rainstorms and sunshine, sprinkled with moments when you could almost reach the stars. I implore you, stop fighting each other, for don't you see you are all on the same side? Death and despair cannot cast out darkness. Only life and hope and love can do that. We are stuck in the borders between life and death. You can choose a different path. Unite as one to face what comes when the sun falls. I'm going to attempt to reforge a new group with a persuade action. Inspire everyone to work together and persuade everyone to stop fighting each other and fight the actual threat, which is the darkness.
Who is included in this new group?
Absolutely everyone present,
including the ghosts.
Yeah, like I'm dropping the previous one, and we are starting over. That's
Okay.
what that speech was about. You are not bound by the past. Start over, new scene, go. Including ghosts, join in.
Okay, I have one question for you.
Yes.
Based on the teachings from De Novo, you would know that questioning the actions of an immaculate dragon is the highest of heresies.
Mm-hmm.
Are you prepared to live with the consequences of making that statement?
Yeah.
This is a deeply immaculate kingdom.
Then take your 3 points down.
Woo!
Well deserved.
Oh, very much so.
But hey, extended metaphor.
So let's see, what have you done today so far? You have committed heresy and been a flirt to a good friend's hated uncle. This is awesome. I love Exalted.
No one's gonna have words for you, hand.
Ah, the Eclipse cast, bringing everybody together.
I answer them.
Okay, I'm going to spend a willpower.
Okay.
I'm going to bump more some excellency into this for the affecting of the group, so that becomes 1 sec. 15 dice.
Mommy, see people.
That's 10 successes in total. No, darling.
Okay. Take your roll bonus.
Also, I'm speaking as the dead scion of Denard, so I'm still in character.
take your roll bonus.
Oh, thank you.
How will Tarala and De Novo react to this outburst of passion and cinematic poetry and grace?
Tarala typically trusts hand at that point. She's still going to make her way up toward the group itself. She tends to trust hand, tends to think he, remember, kind of the role model here. So she will probably make her way up to join with, or wait, she's with the group already, not at the bottom. So
you're still down with the group. You haven't moved up yet. So essentially, this is your like you and De Novo both have first action in this next combat scene. But while you were rolling for joint battle, Sagacious Hand came out with that big speech.
Here is a question. Quick question: Does the do the ghosts look at all like reading intentions? The ghosts look at all affected by this?
You won't know until they act.
In that case, I am going to stunt keeping with the group by moving through with the weapon, basically flipping the sword to make it look like she didn't grab the scabbard.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, so holding it down at her side as she makes her way up. Just in case she still has to, she can quickly bring it up to block if they go after Arthur Shasta. But she is going to make her way towards him as though to join and put a hand on his shoulder and everything to bring him along for the ride.
De Novo?
This is just my gut feeling, but I think Johan's got this, and it comes down to it. So what I'm going to do is, after having heard a lot of heresy compressed into a few sentences, De Novo's going to. Okay, I think I got it. De Novo's gonna rise up from over Johan, and he's going to draw more of his. He's going to draw Pelora to his hand, in the same reflexive way as he's been drawing up till now, since that's a merit of his artifact. And he's going to. Okay, this will either mess it up or go well. He is going to walk down the steps towards hand, and he's going to raise his head, and I'm going to introduce fact.
Okay.
I'm going to introduce fact using my specialty in immaculate theology, that what Hand just mentioned is actually not a subject that is completely disregarded, but it is always framed in immaculate debates as a dialogue between Sextus Giles and the other dragons. And Sextus Giles was the one personally tempted by the anathema, and he is usually associated with resolution, for lack of a better word. I'm going to introduce the fact that it's perfect. It's not completely heretical, but it is viewed as the domain of Sextus Gilus to not question, but reflect on one's act. But reflect.
Okay.
Not to stagnate, but to grow beyond your actions.
I will give you a 2-point stunt and set the difficulty for this action at 3.
Okay. You know, it's funny, I haven't actually got it glowing yet, but I've somehow managed to almost completely drain my essence full.
Small increments.
Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, so my base is 9. Oh, sorry, no, my base is 8. No, 9 with the specialty. And by the way, since I was in that, have I regained any essence at all since last time I used essence?
No, this is your. Can we cover that in a moment? Let's finish this off.
Yeah, about an hour has passed. We can figure that out.
Oh no, I was just asking for my personal pool, but I'm going to go ahead and spend 4 motes so I don't glow to raise it up to 13.
Okay.
And you said I had what's it called? 2 point stun, right?
Yep, that's 2 dice,
Which
1 success, and 1 point of willpower that cannot exceed your maximum.
All right, I'll spend that willpower right here, so I have 2 success base.
Mm-hmm.
And I got 12 successes on that roll.
Take your roll bonus. The party begin to sort of mutter and whisper between themselves. This is bordering on the edge of extreme heresy, and yet no one can really call Sagacious Hand's actions into question. Not really. You know, it's only by dint of the somewhat incomplete immaculate education of some of the commoners or nobles here in this kingdom that might lead them to believe that what you said was indeed, like, worthy of being killed. But as De Novo moves down to sort of extend with the discourse with you, mentioning... Yes?
By the way, as I'm doing it, I'm trying to basically shift De Novo into the role of Sextus Gilus that's essentially what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, cool, excellent. So as he moves down to start this discourse with you, taking up the role of the scion of Sextus Gilus, not Sextus Gilus himself, because that would be heretical.
That would be extremely heretical.
This discourse starts up, and the group start to sort of nod and look around each other, and a great applause erupts. The ghosts surrounding Arthur Shasta and Johann almost immediately stop. They lift themselves, moved by Hand's words, and they drop from the banister, landing on the ground floor. You can almost hear the thudding as their material forms just... The rest of the group starts to sort of move out into the passageway. Jonathan backing off into a corner. He's quite scared. They look to Jonathan. They look to Sagacious Hand. And they all raise an arm with a pointing finger, pointing at King Alexander Marcus. Can't hear you, Vay.
Everyone's practically gone deathly silent.
Everyone turns to look at Alexander Marcus, who himself seems to think this is part of the act. And he nods and says, yes. Yes. As the scion of Sextus Giles says, I have made some decisions that I regret. Many of these people before us now, I have set unwillingly towards their deaths. In the name of truth, I fear that my kingdom is at death's door. We no longer have a standing military. They are all gone. In my efforts to patrol the borders, my men have been dying. My citizens have been growing sick. And this kingdom is slowly falling into something that I don't know how to stop. These brave scions standing before us now have opened my eyes to the calamity about to befall this kingdom. And he takes a very deep bow. Greatest and deepest apologies, scion of Mela, scion of Ashish, scion of Passiop, scion of Denard, and scion of Sextus Giles. Your words do speak true. I have hidden a darker past from my people and from those here in this party, and for that, I am sorry. I can never forgive myself for the loss of my men. The ghosts lower their accusing hands and nod before evaporating. The crimson light of the sun seeming to accept them as they pass on to the hereafter. End of combat. The group launch into a great applause. Everyone is jubilant and happy. Sagacious Hand is congratulated time and time again over the wondrousness of his performance. They never expected Jonathan and King Marcus to be part of this whole thing. It took them by surprise. They were sure that Jonathan truly was angry and truly meant you harm. You know, props to Jonathan for having such a great and thrilling performance. Jonathan seems to sort of nod and accept this. It seems that after what has happened, nobody really necessarily believes the story that you told was true, but was meant as a metaphor to speak of the kingdom in open and honest terms, so that when it comes to the negotiation table, everybody is here on the same level. You have half an hour until sunset. And with the performance seemingly over, the under-butler rings the gong, and people start moving towards the dining hall.
Kalis would like to lift up his staff, and I believe he should be able to reach the chandelier with his giant height and the extended length of his staff, I'm presuming.
Yeah, let's say yes.
And help Mason down. Should not be
You're able to safely lower Mason to the ground with no problems.
Well, that was a stunning performance, Mr. Hand. Thanks to your friend Kalis and poor Miss Sarah, I truly thought they were in danger. truly magnificent. We will be speaking of this for ages to come. Bravo, bravo.
Claps his hands. He doesn't actually say bravo, but some foreign language saying congratulations. To the effect of
Caelus
someone
would
speaking
like-
French.
Caelus would like to take this opportunity to do a bow. I mean, he doesn't want to. He's gonna take actually. Because I'm gonna roll for limit if I may, Elk.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because where is it? I'm pretty sure he doesn't like lying. Have I actually put that in there? Oh, dislikes of barefaced lying, minor.
If it's minor, there's no limit.
Oh, okay.
It's only major or defining.
Okay, cool. In which case, I will not do that. I mean, yeah, Caelus is going along with the fact that this is a performance, so he's taking a bow as not to mess up his tribe and his friends and make Mason into a liar. So he's just taking this opportunity to do a bow, and he will try and inspire a feeling of a minor intimacy in all of those as he's with his movement and his flourish of almost like a dance. You know how some actors showboat in their spinal curtain bows and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Caelus would be doing that, so he'd be sort of dancing around the crowd, bowing and bobbing and smiling, beaming. And he would like to inspire, instill an intimacy that Caelus Kodan, amazing actor.
Okay, make a roll.
Fantastic.
For Kel and Culture, how much longer do you have before we have to call it a night?
I mean, tomorrow I work late, so I can stay later.
So like an hour or an hour and a half or half an hour?
Hour later.
An hour later?
Yeah, I can do about an hour.
Yep.
So that's an hour from
I can
now
also do
or
an
2
hour.
hours from now?
Hour and 15 minutes from now if we have to push a little bit further.
Okay, cool.
Should we take a break and explain?
Yes, I was going to say, Dux has finally been able to return to us. There's been some issues on his end, that's okay. So we'll take another break, get Dux up to speed, and then see if we can get back on track. Thank you very much for viewing. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, once again. Thank you for sticking with us past our second break. We now have a live Paradox on camera and in audio, so say hello, everybody.